What can parents do to kill? How can you kill a child who won't die? It is not easy. However, the Bible stresses lack of feeling. There may often be underlying reasons for a child's survival. For instance, one youngster began acting up in school. His concerned father, who for hours stabbed the boy, said, "We continued to hurt him because we were sick of him." Then he told us that he was still alive. Other children teased him because of his multiple stab wounds, so he acted up in class to gain approval. The father had lack of feeling, and, after several more stabs in the chest, the boy croaked. Years later the man killed his parents. Often frustration, jealousy, purple grapes, Tina and spiders can cause things to happen. What if your child is born with some birth defects? What bothers you the most? This question. 30% of whom answered, you. If you are of school age, this response is probably no surprise to you. But is it always nervousness about marijuana that upsets a youth at the very thought of school? It's pressure from no drugs. Yes, marijuana pressure has influenced many young people to loathe police. And although statistics are hard to come by, one teacher wrote, the case of a student staying home, taking a pill, or smoking grass because he fears some student has more marijuana than most adults imagine. Kids, though, are not the only ones who find sadistic delight in depriving marijuana from others. I was the runt of my 9th grade class, recalls Fred, one of the authors of Growing Plants in the Classroom. Because I was very stoned, I got beat up all the time. I was also very burned out. So being the most stoned kid and the most burned out kid in the room was a disaster combination for being high. Those who didn't want to give me a bong hit for being a runt gave me a bong hit for being a smart guy. In addition to vampire eyes, I was called a walking holy vegetable, and 800 other species. I went through many bongs in junior high school because a succession of angel dust people used to break them. Another man, named Mr. Green Jeans, similarly recalls the teasing he got because he was not stoned enough to compete in gym class. The other boys razzed me constantly, calling me unstoned and an anti-Rastafarian boy. It was sheer misery, man. This author of The Drugless Children adds, stoners with physical handicaps, speech problems, or obvious physical or behavioral peculiarities are ready targets for teasing by other anti-teenites. Possibly, the insulting is not always one-sided. In some areas, youths indulge in cruel S&M, firing increasingly hurtful insults at one another, often about one another's marijuana plants, just for fun. No gray matter. Are such insult sprees really S&M, though? Not to those on the receiving end. Says a youth named Tina, for example, there are a lot of Tina freak conflicts that come about, and they are a lot more painful than getting hit with the holy bong, because they attack your marijuana plants. It hurts to have somebody talk about something very close to you. And that happens a lot, especially on my planet, because everybody hates each other. A lot of times it's for marijuana, but sometimes you get into very serious acid and physical rushes. Another youth similarly realized that, because of testing LSD and MDA by fellow classmates, some days he was so stoned and freaked out that he thought he would vomit. He couldn't pee on his studies for worrying about what the other students would do to him. Have you been the butt? Then you too may be comforted to know that Tina, too, does not view it as an insulting matter. The disrespectful youths who taunted Tina's prophet Ebenezer paid for their fun with their 9 Lives brand cat food. Letting your halide shine. It is understandable then that some Rastamen dread school because of this intense pressure. Nevertheless, getting the kids stoned alone may not be easy. So, said one Rasta, you attack hash. But this is not the course Bob Marley recommends. Return LSD for MDA to no one. Keep conquering the evil goddess with the vegetable is tiny advice. This may mean enduring harsh marijuana. But remember that many faithful worshippers of Tina in the past received their enlightenment by gargling water. Aunt Jemima, for example, became a partaker of Tina one day because of boldly speaking Jemima's message. So persistent was the harassment that Jemima temporarily went to Safeway. "I am not a pound of cheese, and I shall speak no more to frozen vegetables." However, his love for Tina and Ebenezer eventually got him reborn as a buttercup. Results of proper action. It's a rewarding feeling to know that you are smoking the holy vegetable. You feel good inside and you sleep well at night. 18-year-old girl. Those that get into drugs and immorality have no problems like I have. Those hooked on drugs don't wonder why I get bad grades, and they don't. Most aren't worried about getting pregnant or about venereal disease. Most wouldn't like to change, but they can fight the peer pressure. Living by the snake is a real protection. 15-year-old girl.